Nathan sir, am I audible?
Yes, Nikhil.
Yes, okay. Uh, Good afternoon, all. Thanks for joining our webinar on safety in cutting, welding, and allied processes. I am happy to introduce Mr. S.S. Nathan from Messer Cutting System. Mr. Nathan is mechanical engineer, graduated in 1998 batch pass out. He is having 20 plus years of experience in welding and cutting. He already conducted 300 plus safety trainings in last 12 years. Over to you, Nathan sir.
Thank you, Nikhil. Thank you for the kind words. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Voice is clear, no?
Yes, sir,
Right.
your voice is clear.
Right. So once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this webinar on safety in cutting, welding, and allied processes. So safety is an important aspect of life, and we all need to adhere to certain safety norms to be safe, right? So life is all about chances, and even one chance missed is something which will never come back. So we have to be safe all the time, and we have to be vigilant all the time. However, small a slip can result in drastic results. So we move on to our topic. Just before we move into the topic, a small introduction on our Besser cutting systems. Besser basically is a company which is more than 125 years old. It was founded in the year 1898 as Adolf Messer GmbH in Hoist at Frankfurt in Germany. And this company's business was initially acetylene-based lamps, that is lighting systems for automobiles. So what you see here is one of the first products of the company, which is acetylene-based lamp. So those days, automobiles did not have this kind of headlights. They used to have this kind of lamps as headlights. And later on, they made acetylene generators, gases, and so on. And slowly in 1903, the R&D team of Besser, they introduced the first oxyfuel cutting torch in the market. So Ernst Wist was the scientist who brought in the first oxyfuel cutting torch. It was later on patented, and the present day cutting torch is a development from this basic model. In 1965, Bessel Grisham was formed with Hoist Pharma as the biggest shareholder. And in 1970, the first CNC cutting machine, the first laser cutting machine was launched into the market by Besser. So there are many such firsts, as Bessers are pioneer in welding and cutting business, and they are also the largest gas manufacturing company, gas manufacturing business company in the world. As far as when it comes to family businesses, Besser is the biggest gas company in the world. We are part of the Besser group, and Besser Cutting Systems has got 5 plants worldwide. The mother plant is at Groß in Germany, which is around 85 kilometers from Frankfurt. Then we have a plant at Nebony Falls in near Chicago in USA. Then we have a plant in Sao Paulo near Brazil. We have a plant in Xinjiang province near Shanghai. And we have our Indian plant at Baluvichabatti at the outskirts of Coimbatore. So our plant is the youngest of the lot. So we make products across these 5 plants, and we sell our products across the country. So we have 100 plus patents and brands which are famous throughout the world. About our product offering, we offer the state-of-the-art CNC cutting machines, oxyfuel plasma and laser machines, which we manufacture at our plants. At Coimbatore, we make oxyfuel plasma and laser cutting machines. We also do retrofitting of older machines. So if you have a machine which is, say, a World War II type of machine, which is now lost its sheen, we can check the machine, and we can retrofit it with the latest control systems, torches, and make it as good as new. We also are into the business of genuine CNC spares and consumables to ensure that the machines give you good performance. We also have a range of digitized inverter-based hand plasma machines, which give you very good performance. And we help in setting up of welding and cutting training centers across the country, along with industry and academia. We have a complete range of gas equipment, which we are going to see a little bit more in detail today. A full range of engineered gas supply manifold systems for technical gases. A complete range of welding accessories. And we also conduct safety training programs and gas equipment safety assessment for companies. So these are some of the offerings that we offer to the customers. Our safety training programs are appreciated across the country, and we do close to 500 plus programs every year across the country at various sites and factory locations. At Besser, we always try to give a positive experience to our customers consistently. whether it is a phone call or an
at
email
various
or
sites and factory
maybe a website
locations.
visit or a visit of our
At
personnel to
Besser,
your
we
factory,
always,
we always try
whether
to
it is
have
a
a
phone.
positive and consistent experience for the customer. This is a glimpse of our manufacturing facility at India. We started this factory way back in 2009 at a rented facility, and then we had only a few employees. And then we moved out to our own facility in 2013. And today, the present facility after expansion in 2019 looks like this. So here we manufacture oxy-fuel plasma laser cutting machines, plus gas cutting torches, regulators, and a few other products. This is our 300 plus strong team with a very vibrant R&D and a full-fledged sales and marketing and service team. These are your oxy-fuel contact people across the country. The team is headed by Mr. Arun Jain, who is head of our business and is operating out of Delhi. We have Mr. Soumit Dev, Mr. Tanmay Sarkar in the east, Mr. Rohit Katakwar in the west, and Dandasayan at south. So now we move on to our topic of the day. These are a glimpse of the products that we offer to our customers. These are oxy-fuel equipment, manifold systems, and welding accessories. You can see there is a complete range of equipment. Just you look at the regulators itself, there are a variety of regulators available. So it is very clear that there are a good number of regulators available for various gases, various pressures, and various applications. Likewise, we have cylinder pressure regulators and manifold regulators, which are different in functionality and ratings. Likewise, we have a complete range of welding accessories which ensure the welder's safety. These are some products which are used for cutting in steel wheel. Steel wheels, there the brace material itself is at a temperature of 1000 degrees centigrade plus. So in that kind of conditions, you need a specialized equipment to do the cutting, scarfing, or welding. So here we have a full range of steel wheel products as well. And this is a glimpse of our manufacturing facility in Coimbatore. You can see our regulator assembly and testing line. You can also see the torch testing line. For your kind information, all the products manufactured by Besser at our factories are 100% tested before dispatch. So there is nothing called a batch testing. Every product that we make is tested 100% before we send it to our customers. So you can be rest assured about the performance and quality of the products. Now, this is something which is for you to think about. Gas cutting has traditionally been told as a low-end technology process, and anybody and everybody can do it. But if gas cutting is not taken seriously and the safety pressures are not followed properly, then the outcome can be disastrous. We cannot play around with this kind of equipment. Safety, gentlemen, is not an expense, but is an investment for a better tomorrow. So we have to heed to safety and go ahead and look at what kind of equipment we are using and what are the safety precautions to be taken and how we can avoid accidents. Now, here are a few glimpses of some accidents which have happened in the industry in the past. Now, these are all reputed companies where some sort of mishaps have happened because of a slip. Now, here you can see what is a picture of a flashback which has happened. What you see is an acetylene regulator. You can see that the entire regulator is completely burnt. You can see a lot of carbon deposit inside. The flame has traveled through the hose. After bursting the hose, it has traveled to the flashback arrestor device. You can see a brass device looking here like a flashback arrestor. And then it has passed that also and gone inside the regulator and burnt the regulator. And fortunately for the user, it went into the inlet connector of the regulator and there it blasted. So after blasting, it fell almost 100 meters away and flew almost 40 meters in height. So imagine a regulator with the flashback arrestor flying almost 40 meters in height and then falling 100 meters away. Easily, this could have damaged people. It could have caused grievous injuries. But fortunately for us, nothing much happened. The operator was safe because only the torch in his hand had a small blast. He had a small cut in his hand. Otherwise, he was safe. So nothing much happened. But the incident shook the site and the work was stopped for a week's time. Right? Now, what is wrong here? What you see is a normal regulator. They say it's an ISI regulator, but it is a normal regulator. There is a flashback arrestor safety device fitted here for the safety officer. In actuality, this device is not a proper flashback arrestor device because this does not meet any international or national standards on safety. This is just a brass kind of cylindrical lookalike of a flashback arrestor. Inside it, there is nothing. There's nothing which can prevent a flash or a flame from going back inside the tube or to the torch itself, right? So this is something which has happened here. So people have bought a lookalike of a flashback arrestor just to satisfy the requirements of the safety officer. and they've gone ahead and fitted it and started using it. And when the accident actually happened, this device never gave any kind of support to the operator or the customer, right? So this can happen. There are some more things which we have to see. All the safety equipment that we buy are not 100% safe. There are instances where you have seen flashback arrested devices of some reputed companies also coming with holes inbuilt, which the device itself has a hole, how it will prevent the gas from going out or causing a bigger accident. So we really don't know. This is the device where a flash has occurred, but they have not bothered to change it at all. And you can see this kind of devices where the regulators are there, but the gauges are all damaged, and nobody's bothered about the gauges. And then we can all see this kind of hose handling, which puts the hose into a lot of stress, causes a lot of cracks and gas leakages. Also, it damages the hoses very fast and also leads to a lot of accidents, right? So we have to see all these things and ensure that the right kind of equipment is being used. Now, here is one more case of a classic case where there was no flame involved. Gas was opened and the regulator blasted. This is the case of adiabatic compression or a gas hammer effect, we call it, where when somebody suddenly opens the oxygen cylinder with a jerk. Okay, somebody suddenly opens the oxygen cylinder with a jerk and allows high pressure gas to enter inside the regulator. The regulator has a very small inlet area where when suddenly so much of gas comes in, the pressure shoots up like anything. It causes a sudden increase in temperature or heat. And that in touch with any other impurity like maybe oil, grease or dust speck or rust speck can cause an instantaneous flash and a blast. So that's what has happened here where a blast has happened inside the regulator, causing the entire body to melt and get damaged like this. So this is called as adiabatic compression or a gas hammer effect. To avoid this, we must always ensure that the cylinders are opened gradually and very slowly. And we should not allow the operator to open more than half of the cylinder wall. Okay. That way also we will ensure that only the required amount of gases flow into the system. So this is the case where a CNC machine caught fire. You can see there are two torches. On the left, you have a CNC machine torch with flashback arresters fitted. Here also there was a flashback, but only the torch got damaged. It didn't go inside the machine. But on the right, you see a flashback arrestor happening in a torch. And you can see that the torch itself has got damaged. And since there is no flashback arrestor in the torch, flame has traveled back into the system and burnt the entire machine down. So whether it is a hand cutting torch or a puck cutting machine or a CNC cutting machine, if it is going to use oxygen and fuel gas, it is better to have an oxygen fuel torch to ensure the safety of the plant, right? So whatever kind of gas cutting equipment we use, flashback arresters need to be there to ensure the safety of the plant. And certain safe practices need to be followed. So here what we are looking at is a factory which has gone down because the wrong kind of chemical was used for cleaning of the plant. A wrong cleaning agent caused a complete devastation. The entire shop floor came down. On the left, what you see are not plastic PET bottles, but they are gas cylinders which have got melted. There are many other news clippings like this one is from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. That is from a reputed shipyard and so on and so forth. And these are from various other locations in the country where gas cylinder handling, mishandling of cylinders, not sharing the right kind of data. All these have led to many such accidents and a lot of fatalities have happened in the past. This should not happen to us. This should not be our story because if it happens, it is going to be too late to correct anything. So it is better that we take precautionary steps now to ensure that this kind of accidents don't happen to us or to our factory or to our people, right? So what we will try to do is we will try to have a small introduction on the gases we use, the equipment, how to select the equipment, and how to use it properly, and what other kind of safety devices are in the market can have a look, right? So now we start with the gases. Gases come in various forms to your factory, maybe in the compressed form like oxygen or in liquefied form. It can be oxygen, nitrogen, or even LPG. It can be in dissolved form or it can be in cryogenic form. Cryogenic liquids you get like liquid oxygen, liquid nitrogen and all, which you get in small cryogenic tanks. Dissolved gas, mostly it is acetylene which comes as a dissolved gas. It is called dissolved acetylene. So it is dissolved in acetone, it comes to you as dissolved gas. And then the other plants, if you look at it, what you get is a gaseous or compressed gas. So we have a cylinder which is at say 200 bar or 230 bar pressure, whereas we need the gas at only 5-6 bar pressure. So at these places, the gas is filled inside the tank at high pressures and taken to the various locations and given to the customer directly for using. Okay, so this is how the gases are moved around in the industry. The second most important thing is the properties of these gases. So some gases are inert, some flammable, some oxidizing, toxic, corrosive, or auto-irritating. It is mandatory that the users know what kind of gases they are using, what are the properties of these gases, how dangerous they are, what should be done if they come in direct touch with the gas, if they inhale the gas accidentally, or stub off the gas, or anything of that sort. So whatever precautions need to be taken, we should all understand, we should know what gases or what time we should know, and accordingly try to serve the customer. So oxygen gas, here the chemical formula of oxygen is O2. It's a colorless gas, there is no smell. Without oxygen, there is no life, there is no combustion also. This is not a hydrocarbon gas, this is available freely in the atmosphere. So if you look at atmospheric air, almost 23% of this is oxygen, rest of it is nitrogen and other gases, right? So this is stored in a compressed form in the cylinders, maybe 180 or 200 bar. Okay, and these cylinders are all almost 5.5 meters in height. These are approximately 70, 80 kgs in weight, 8 inches in diameter. They are painted black for oxygen, and they have oxygen in them at around 200 bar pressure or 200 kg pressure. These are seamless cylinders with sorry. These are seamless cylinders with no joints on the body and only a brass knob at the top. This brass valve at the top is the weakest portion of the cylinder. And if it is not protected properly, then this valve can cause damage and the cylinder can fly like a rocket. Acetylene, on the other hand, is a very risky gas. Undissolved acetylene gas at 30 pounds, that is 2 bar pressure or more, can explode only from shock. So that is the reason why we have to dissolve acetylene when we have to store it in cylinders and transport it around. So for dissolving acetylene, we use a chemical called acetone, which dissolves almost 25 times of its volume of acetylene inside this cylinder, where we have an internal lining of calcium silicate, charcoal, glass wool, asbestos, and so on and so many things, which actually help in absorbing the acetone and the acetylene gas with it. And once the time comes for using, we have to open the valve of the cylinder, and acetylene is released from the acetone at the rate of 1 cubic meter per hour. So the maximum amount of gas that you can draw from acetylene cylinder is only 1 cubic meter per hour at peak, and maybe 0.5 to 0.6 cubic meter per hour only continuously if you are using it continuously. Okay, and you have to also be aware that acetylene is the highest flammable gas in the range. So if you look at the flammability level of acetylene, it is between 2.8 to 93% in air. So whether it is 2.8% of acetylene or 93% of acetylene, it is definitely flammable and can cause an accident. So we have to be extremely careful when we use this gas. Also, there are conditions like higher heat or higher pressure or things like that, which can cause a decomposition of acetylene as it is unstable, which can lead to very big repercussions. So when we use acetylene, we have to take
Introducing
adequate safety
Agaro Marble
precautions.
Hand
We have to use
Massager.
the gas at less than 1.5 bar pressure.
For a relaxing
We have to
massage.
use the right kind of flashback arresters. We have to use the right kind of equipment and take care properly. Right? Now, this is something which we are all familiar with. And LPG is something which we all know about, right? So when we were kids, we used to talk about tumhare ghar mein gas hai, mere ghar mein gas hai, and all sorts of things, because gas used to be so precious. Everybody was not having access to it, and that is the reason why LPG was very scarcely used in the industries, right? So LPG is a mixture of propane and butane. The chemical formula of propane is C3H8. Again, this is a colorless gas. There is no smell, but just in order to identify if there is a leakage, the suppliers have added a chemical called mercaptan in the gas, so that it gives you a distinct odor. So whenever you have a leakage of LPG, you get the special smell which indicates that gases leaked, and you have to take adequate precautions, right? Now this is also flammable between 2% to 10% only. So if you play more than if you have more than 2% of gas or less than 10% of LPG in the room, then the mixture is highly flammable. But if you have more than 10% of LPG in air, then it is not very flammable, right? So this thing which you have to understand. Now under pressure, LPG becomes a liquid. Okay, this is liquefied petroleum gas, so it can be liquefied at pressure. The vapor pressure is approximately 8.37 bar, or the cylinder pressure is around 8.37 bar. Okay. So this diagram shows that gases which have got higher density can flow like liquids. So gases like butane, propane, alcohol, ether, etc. flow like liquids. And light gases like hemoglobin, acetylene, etc. These will fly away. Okay. So that is why whenever we have LPG leakage, we talk about opening the doors, windows, shutting down the gas, mopping the area, clearing it completely so that the gas and the places which has absorbed the gas are cleared completely. Right? And these are the explosion limits. I've already spoken about acetylene and LPG. You can also look at ammonia and hydrogen, where the explosion limits are slightly higher than the normal. Okay, fine. So with this, I request Mr. Tanmay Sarkar to take over the proceedings. Tanmay, over to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Tanmay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yeah, clearly, Tanmay.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My word of welcome to all of you. Thank you for providing us the opportunity to discuss about safety in oxyfuel cutting, welding, and allied process. Basically, this is combustion triangle. We all know that if the combustion triangle will be fulfilled, then there will be a chance of blast. That is the uh, 3 points of that combustion triangle is it is oxygen, fuel, and heat. These are some different types of oxy-fuel processes. In the extreme top left corner side, this is manual gas cutting through our 3-pipe cutting torch. Then in the middle, this is oxy-fuel heating. And in the extreme top right corner, this is gouging. In the bottom side, you can see it is brazing, and in the right side, it is flame cleaning. Various type of fuel gases are available globally, but in India, we generally use acetylene, hydrogen, LPG, and propane and natural gas as fuel gas. Application-wise, we can use these fuel gases like uh, for oxygen, for oxyfuel welding, only acetylene can be used. For brazing, soldering, and flame heating, all these fuel gas can be used. Uh, Please note for flame cutting, only LPG, I mean propane and natural gas can be used. Also, for above 300 cutting thickness, I mean this is for 300 cutting thickness or above 300 cutting thickness, we can use only propane and natural gas. And for scarfing also, we can use propane and natural gas. Now we will discuss about oxyfuel cutting and gouging application. Uh, in the left side, you can see manual gas cutting is doing through hand cutting torch. In the middle, this is our Potacut portable gas cutting machine. You can use this machine for straight or multi-bevel cuts with 2 torches. You can cut up to 300 thickness through this cutting machine. In the right side, this is a gouging application. You can do gouging also through the gouging nozzle fitted in our oxyfuel torch. Here you can see the Messer make CNC cutting machine with oxyfuel torches. There are 3 numbers flashback arresters are fitted in the backside of each and every torches. One flashback arrestor is for heating oxygen, one flashback arrestor is for cutting oxygen, and another one is for fuel. If backfire will happen through torch, then these flashback arresters will stop the backfire and keep safe the machine from damage. So we recommend to use flashback arresters in backside of CNC cutting machine torches to keep your machine safe. Oxyfuel cutting basically a oxidation process. One chemical reaction happens in this process, which is called exothermic reaction. In this process, first material got heated through the heating flame with heating oxygen and fuel mixture. And then after pressing the lever of the cutting torch, oxidation process get started. Due to the high flow of cutting oxygen, slug material also get removed. In this way, oxyfuel cutting process happens. Please note, for oxyfuel cutting, melting temperature of oxide form of the material should be less than the base material melting temperature. Now we will discuss about the flame temperature for different fuel gases. For oxyacetylene, maximum flame temperature is 3160 degrees Celsius. For hydrogen, it is maximum flame temperature is 2856 degrees Celsius, and for propane, 828 degrees Celsius, and for natural gas, it is 2786 degrees Celsius. Generally, in India, mostly we use oxy LPG or oxyacetylene flame for any oxy-fuel application. So you can see acetylene flame temperature is in much higher side as compared to other fuel gases. For creating the flame in oxy-fuel cutting process, you must have to use fuel gases. Here I will discuss about the calorific value of fuel gases. For Bharat metal cutting gas, that is BMCG, calorific value is 23,244 kilocalorie per meter cube. For LPG, it is 22,350 kilocalorie per meter cube. For acetylene, it is 13,600 kilocalorie per meter cube. For natural gas, it is 7,600 kilocalorie per meter cube. LPG, naturally LPG gas calorific value is much higher than acetylene and natural gases. In this slide, you can see the burning speed of fuel gases. Uh, Once again, as you know that in India we use generally acetylene, hydrogen, propane, and natural gas for as fuel gas. So we will discuss only about these four gases. Burning speed of acetylene, it is 12 meter per second, and hydrogen, it is 10 meter per second. For LPG, it is 6 meter per second, and for natural gas, it is 5 meter per second. So acetylene gas burning speed is much higher than other fuel gases and almost double of LPG. In this graph, you can see that during oxyfuel cutting, initially material get 50% heated through heating oxygen flame, and then when it moves forward, heat generation gradually increased through oxidation process. Percentage wise, I will explain you in the next slide. In this chart, you can see that during oxyfuel cutting process, initially 50% heat generates from heating flame through heating oxygen and fuel mixture. 50% heat generates from isolation process through cutting oxygen, and balance 50% cutting oxygen helps to remove the slug material. When the oxyfuel process moves forward, heat generation gradually increase through oxidation process, and then you can see that 75% heat generates from this isolation process and 25% heat generates from heating flame through heating oxygen and fuel mixture. These are few images of different type of heating processes. In the extreme top left corner, this is oxy LPG heating through our HF14 heating torch. In the middle, you can see some burners are installed in a single line. We can manufacture this type of customized solution. For this type of heating only, LPG is required. In the right side corner also, this is our air therm heating torch. For this torch also, only LPG is required, no oxygen is required for this type of heating. In the bottom side, this is oxyacetylene heating torch. In the right side, this is ring type heating torch. So we are having complete range of heating torches, as well as we can provide customized heating solutions also. These are some images of different types of brazing applications. We are having very lightweight, slim design, robust quality brazing torches in our product range. We are having complete range of steel mill oxyfuel products. We are having manual emergency cutting torch for billet cutting purpose. Our powder cutting torch can cut up to 500 thick plate. Also, we are having automatic cutting torch, which can be fitted in billet cutting machine. In the right side, this is lance holder. This can be used for cutting of any materials. This is generally used in steel plants for scrap cutting and tap hole lancing also. Next, please. This is a complete diagram of oxy-fuel cutting set. Here you can see from cylinder to cutting torch, the regulator, flashback arrestor is properly installed. This is the complete diagram. We will discuss in detail later. Now we will discuss about the backfire and flashback. What is backfire? Backfire is the penetration of the flame into the nozzle or into the torches mixing tube or with an explosive noise where the flame is extinguished. If the process will be continued, then a chattering noise is to be heard. And for flashback, a flashback is the penetration of the flame into the torch where it continues to burn in or around the mixing area. This type of two pipe gas cutting torches are available in market. The technology is used in this type of pipe torches are called injector mixing technology. You can see there are two pipe in that torch. In the red one, fuel gas and heating oxygen flows, and in the blue one, after pressing the lever, cutting oxygen flows. If backfire will come, there is a possibility to blast in the gas mixing area. That means the handle portion of that torch, and the result you can see in the images. Practically, if it will happen, then it can damage the cutter's hand. So this type of two pipe torches are completely unsafe for oxyfuel cutting. So we always recommend to use three pipe cutting torch. Here you can see on the upper side that is blue color pipe. In this pipe, heating oxygen flows. In the middle, after pressing the lever, the cutting oxygen flows, and in the bottom side, in the red one, it fuel gases flows, and the mixture happens in the nozzle portion. So if backfire or flashback will happen, then it will damage the nozzle portion only. It will never damage the handle portion. So that gas cutter's hand will be in safe. So what are the major causes of flashback? First, improper cylinder pressure. Second, enlarged or blocked tips. We always suggest workers to clean the nozzle first before doing any oxyfuel cutting or heating. Third, loose connections. All the connections from cylinder to torch should be tight fitted. Fourth, pinched, cut, or burned hoses, because there might be a chance of leakage in this in this cut portions of hoses of that that can cause fire, and that can cause major accident also at site. Fifth, improper lighting procedure, and the sixth one is defective regulator. Now we will discuss about the construction of an flashback arrestor. There are four parts of an flashback arrestor. First, it is inlet filter. Second, it is gas non-return valve. Third is flame arrestor, and fourth is temperature sensitive cutoff valve. In next slide, I will elaborate how this flashback arrestor actually works. First, inlet filter. It helps to remove the impurities from gas. Second, gas non-return valve. It helps to stop the gas flow during the time of flashback or backfire. Third, flame arrestor. It helps to absorb the flame during the time of flashback and backfire. And the fourth, temperature sensitive cutoff valve. This has been fixed with a certain ignition temperature during the time of flashback, or during the time of flashback, the flashback arrestor body temperature. If it will be 95 degrees Celsius or more than 95 degrees Celsius, then the valve will automatically activated, and it will completely stop the gas flow. We recommend to use flashback arresters both side, for torch side and cylinder side. Even for acetylene gas, we recommend to use in the middle also. We are having complete range of flashback arresters. Depending upon the flow, we generally prescribe the flashback arresters. Depends upon the applications also. We are having pipeline flashback arresters, as well as we are having a flashback arrestor for pug cutting machines. This is flashback arrestor testing machine. As earlier already Nathan sir already told that all the flashback arrestor are all the flashback arrestor are checked, and there will be no chance to be any compromise with our flashback arresters. Gas regulator. We are having complete range of gas regulator, from cylinder pressure regulator to high pressure manifold gas regulator. We are having complete range. First of all, our regulator body is a solid forged brass body, and it's a robust type of quality. Second, all the gas regulators are manufactured as per international standard 2503. uh, for in inlet I mean, for every regulator, there is a filter is installed in inlet portion, which can remove the impurities from gas. Now we will discuss about the single stage and double stage regulator. Basically, in double stage regulator, there is a preset pressure outlet for first stage, and first stage piston for this double stage regulator. First stage is piston type control, and second stage is diaphragm type control. For single stage regulator, it reduces the pressure in single stage naturally. So we always recommend to use a double stage regulator to get the precise flow and pressure. We can see this type of adapters are available in the market. In the right side, you can see this is actually not the regulator. This is actually adapter only. In this kind of adapter, you cannot check the inlet pressure and outlet pressure as well as. So we always recommend to use the proper LPG gas regulator. What you can see in the left side there, if you use this kind of regulator, you can easily check the inlet pressure and outlet pressure as well as. In the middle, you can see there are two adapters, two type of adapter. That is left side, it is 25 red adapter, which can be used for government LPG cylinders, and in the right side it is 22 blue adapter, which can be used for private cylinders. These are here you can see these are the basic fitments of oxy-fuel gas hose. Gas hose is a very important part of a oxy-fuel cutting or heating process. These are the basic fitments. Our color code is for oxygen, it is blue or green, and for LPG it is orange, and for acetylene, hydrogen, or any natural gases, we should use red hose. And we always recommend to use pre-creamed hose. In next slide, I will discuss about why you should use the pre-creamed hose. Please note, gas hose, I mean, a standard gas hose life is 2 years. We should not use any gas hose more than which is older than 2 years. Even good quality hoses have the year of manufacturing printed on them. Even our gas hose, I mean, manufacturing year is printed on our gas hose also. Uh, Good quality gas hose, couplings, nipples, nut, and hose clamps made according to the latest international standard, which should be used at site. This kind of horses we can see at different sites, which can cause a major accident also. In the left side, you can see that is a blue color, that is a yellow color gas hose is using in oxygen cylinder, and in it is a pink color hose is using in LPG cylinder, which we always suggest not to use this kind of hoses. We always recommend to use proper gas hoses like blue or green hoses for oxygen, and for orange hose for LPG. In the right side, you can see that gas hose is placed in on the electric panel. If there will be any leakage, so there will be chance of electric shock, and that can cause a major blast also. So we should ask you to avoid this kind of things at site. There are basically three layers or three parts of a gas hose. Basically, the upper portion, it is the cover. It is one of the most important part of the gas hose because it can protect the gas hose from the any environmental damage, that is oils, acids, sunlight, ozone, etc. In the middle, it can be textile, plastic, or metal, or combination built into the body hose to withstand the internal pressure in external force or a combination of both. In the inner tube, innermost of the hose, this is one of the most important part because this tube is made, the thickness of the tube are based on the service which is hose is designed. Generally, we can see that this kind of clamps we use for hoses at different sides, because but we always recommend to use that right side pre-crimped hoses because you can see that if you use this kind of jubilee clamps at side, then it can damage the portion of that joining hose joining area, as you see in the middle also. And after using of some time, it generally affects the host, and there might be a chances of gas leakage of that portion. So we always recommend to use this kind of pre-creamed hose at site. So now we will discuss about the gas cylinders. Gas cylinders, actually gas cylinders need respect at site because we should not allow this kind of cylinders at site because cylinder valve outlet must be free from impurities, that is dirt, rust, or other impurities. Because if there will be dirt or rust, so there will be a chance of ignition for regulators. So we should not allow this kind of cylinders at site. This kind of mishandling we can also see at different sites. We should not allow this kind of mishandling. We should always ask our workers to handle the cylinders properly, and we always suggest to keep the cylinders in standing position. Further, further, my colleague Mr. Rohit Katokvar will elaborate the details. Over to Mr. Rohit Katokvar.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Good afternoon, everyone, and my word of welcome to you all. Now, Tanmay has discussed about the gas cylinder. Now, let me discuss about the gas cylinder placement also. All the gas cylinders which are filled and which are empty, they should be placed separately, and all the gas cylinders should have proper color codes as per the gases. Now, let us discuss about the gas manifold system. Now, what is a gas manifold system? We all have heard about this about gas manifold system. Now, gas manifold system is nothing but a series of cylinders which are connected with each other, and the high pressure gas which is coming out from the cylinder goes to the pressure reducing station where the high pressure is converted to low pressure, and the low pressure gas is then carried forward through pipe at various point of usage. So this is basically a gas manifold. Now, what are the advantages of gas manifold? If you see, there are various advantages of gas manifold. It reduces the risk of accidents since all the cylinders are placed outside the factory premises, so there are no possibility chance of accidents at the workplace. Since gas supply, so there is savings of gas also. Next slide, Nikhil. Now, this is the photograph of one of the oxygen gas manifolds which has been installed at the customer end. Here you can see oxygen gas manifold where the series of cylinders are connected with each other, and the high pressure gas goes inside the pressure reducing station. Now, inside the pressure reducing station, you can see the U13 regulator. It's a high flow regulator which converts the high pressure to low pressure. And before that high pressure regulator, there is a filter. Now, what this filter does, this filter prevents the impurities of the cylinder to get inside the regulator, and thus enhancing the life of the regulator. The I think slide has not been changed. I just received one pop.
So the high pressure gas now it's getting converted into low pressure, and the low pressure gas is then forwarded inside the premises. Next slide, Nikhil. Now this is the gas manifold system for acetylene. Now here you can see a device which is ASG. Now ASG is basically acetylene safeguard. It is a patented product of Messer cutting systems. Now what it does, the ASG device keeps the gas pressure within the prescribed limit, because acetylene gas at high pressure is dangerous. And if it goes beyond 0.5 bar, it can cause, it causes decomposition. The decomposition of the acetylene gas is in the form of exothermic reaction, and high heat is getting out. So in order to prevent the gas pressure, to keep the gas pressure within the prescribed limit, we use acetylene safeguard. Now in the next slide, you can see the placement of the acetylene safeguard. It is placed before the pressure regulator. Now this acetylene safeguard works on the feedback mechanism basically. It takes the inlet and outlet pressure, and if the pressure exceeds beyond the certain set level, it cut off the gas supply into the system, and hence it makes the system completely safe. Now, as I said earlier, the low pressure gas which is coming out of the gas manifold system is spread across various point of usage, and at various point of usage you use tapping points. Now at these tapping points also you can control the pressure of the gas, and depending upon the application and do the work. Now this is how a gas manifold, this is how a workshop looks after we install a gas manifold system. In case if you're going for a gas manifold system, then you can see the workshop area is completely clutter free and is completely safe. Now till now we have discussed about safety aspects related to gas cutting. Now let us discuss about the safety aspects related to welding activities. Now these are three most common welding out in industry: MIG welding, arc welding, and TIG welding. And whenever we are carrying out such welding activities, there are various hazards which are associated with them. Now, most common hazard is the electrical hazard, and it has been the pain area for the safety officer. Now, these electrical hazards come in the form of electric shocks. Now, how to prevent these electric shocks? So, if a welder who is doing the welding, please ensure that he is using fully insulated welding electrode holder, because if he is using welding electrode holders, then there are no chances of him getting into the getting the electric shock, because the welding holder is completely insulated, and the welder who is doing the operation cannot touch any metallic part of the welding holder. Now, electrical cables can also cause you electric shock. So it is always advisable to use HOFR welding cables, that is heat and oil retardant and heat and oil resistant and fire retardant welding cables. Now on the right hand side, we have given you the chart. Easily select the copper or aluminum cable depending upon the ampere required. Now this is the common practice you can see. In case if the cable is broken, people what they generally do, they tie up the cable and put some heavy object over it. So this is completely unsafe practice. Instead of doing that, please use welding connector cable connectors to connect the welding cables, the broken welding cables. So it gives the completely insulated joints. And so it is completely safe to use cable connectors in case if your welding cable is broken. Now, all of us might have got arc eye at some point of time. Now, this arc eye is basically a result of the ultraviolet radiations which are coming out when a person is doing the welding. So please ensure that whenever a person is doing welding, he is equipped with all the safety gears such as screens and welding curtains. Because if his eyes are get exposed to the ultraviolet radiations or the infrared radiations, lead to permanent blindness also. Now, heat and spatter are also one of the hazards when we do welding. The spatters which are coming out can directly pierce through the cloth and cause burn injuries to the welder. So it is always advisable to use personal protection equipment such as gloves, arm guards, sleeves, helmets, etc. Now the important point here is that whenever you are procuring these arm guards or sleeves, the cloth, the thickness of the cloth should be more than 0.5 mm. Because if it's less than 0.5 mm, then the spatter will to the cloth and it can cause burn injuries to the worker. So it is always advisable to go for PPEs which are conforming to EN 388 standards so that the thickness of the cloth is maintained. Now, another welding hazard is the welding fumes. Now, these welding fumes can contain many particles and it can cause serious health problem to the workers. So it is also advisable, it is always advisable, in fact, to use fume extraction systems so that the fumes can be easily extracted from the workplace of the welder. Now, these are the various welding accessories which should be used for safe working. As Tanmay has discussed earlier, that cylinders also need respect. So it is always advisable to transfer cylinders from one place to another with the help of cylinder trolleys, and always use earth clamps, chipping hammers for safe working. Now here you can see a welding. On the left hand side is a wrong practice. On the right hand side it's a correct practice. Now the person who is doing welding here, he is not equipped with personal protection equipment such as jacket. Here you can see he's wearing a velvet jacket. So I mean that can easily cause burn injuries to him. There is no helmet, there is no arm guards. So this is the unsafe practice. Whereas on the right hand side, you can see the person who is doing the welding is completely safe as he is equipped with personal protection equipment such as arm guards, sleeves, gloves, and helmet. Now, at times, you are using oxy-fuel products, so they require repairs also. So whenever you are going for repairs, please ensure that you are using authorized workshop for repairs of oxy-fuel equipment such as welding regulators and cutting torches, because these are all high-pressure equipments. And if they are not repaired properly, or if there are any leakages are there, then it can cause accident. Now, if you are going for a Messer products, then we have a proper service manual and spare parts list booklet from where you can choose the spare which are required for repairs. We have given exploded view of components like pressure regulators, cutting torches, everything inside that manual. So if you are going for a Messer product, then be sure that you will get the spares of these products also. Now, if you're going for a quality product, then definitely will get savings, and these savings can lead to reduction in manpowers, enhanced productivity, less consumption of electricity, and time savings. If you're going for a good quality of cutting equipment, then naturally there will be less scuff losses and it will give you a metal saving. So what Oxyfuel division offers to we have complete range of Oxyfuel products with us, like pressure regulators, cutting torches, and we do safety training at customer place. You can call us anytime at your premises. We can conduct a safety program. Then we do safety assessment also at the customer place. In case it's basically a short tour of a plant where we inspect each and every Oxyfuel working point. And if we found any thing short or some unsafe practices being followed out, we make a report and submit to you. We can also give you safety posters if you require. So much time, Oxyfuel is a vast subject, but time is the constraint. But you can definitely connect with us on social platforms like LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook, where you will find latest videos related to welding and cutting activities. So thank you all. Now the session is open for questions.
You can also type your questions in the chat box. Yeah, you can unmute the mics and you can speak.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. Tell me, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Can you
Yes, sir.
please
You are clear.
explain the concept of that two-tube gas cutting set and three-tube gas cutting set? Actually, I have missed it a bit, small portion.
Okay. Tanmay, would you be able to do that?
Yes, sir. Nikhil, can you please go back to that slide?
Three pipe torches.
2 pipe and 3 pipe, both the
Yeah,
two slides. Yes. And before this slide, that is 2 pipe and Nikhil, please go back one more slide. Yes. Hold on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You can explain. Yes, sir. You are
Yes.
audible.
Yes. This type of gas cutting torches, I mean 2 pipe gas cutting torches are available in market. The technology used in this 2 pipe torches are called injector mixing technology. You can see there are 2 pipe in that torch. In the red one, fuel gas and heating oxygen flows, and in the blue one, after pressing the lever, cutting oxygen flows. If backfire will come, then there is a possibility to blast in gas mixing area. That means the handle portion of that torch, and the result you can see in the images. Practically, if it will happen, then it can damage the cutter's hand. So this type of two pipe torches are completely unsafe for oxyfuel cutting. Got my point?
Sir. Okay, yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Nikhil, next slide, please.
Hello.
So,
Hello, sir.
yes.
Sir, please tell me welding hazard.
So you can first complete this concept. After that, you can tell sir others points.
Okay. Tanmay, just go carry on, complete this here.
Yes. See, we always recommend to use this kind of 3 pipe torches, because here you can see there are 3 pipes in these torches. In the upper portion, in the that blue pipe, heating oxygen flows in this pipe. In the middle one, that is for cutting oxygen. After pressing the lever, the cutting oxygen flows in this pipe. And in the bottom side, for that red pipe, fuel gas flows in this pipe. And generally in this type of 3 pipe torches, gas mixing happens in nozzle portions. So if backfire or flashback will happen, then this will damage only nozzle only. That will not affect the cutter's hand.
Okay, sir. Got your point. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Yeah, please speak on.
Hello, sir. Sir, please tell me welding hazard.
Sorry, I cannot heard you properly. I think some network issues are there.
Please tell me welding hazard. Please tell me again.
Welding what?
Welding hazard. Welding hazard.
Hello. We are not clear. We are not able to hear you.
Sir, please tell me welding hazard again.
Can you please type your question?
Sir, I think he is actually asking welding hazards. Information
Welding
regarding
hazards.
welding hazards.
Welding hazards.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Rohit? Rohit, you're there?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
yes.
wants to know about welding hazards. Just give him some brief intro.
Okay, actually, yeah, tell me, sir. Actually, is he asking some questions, or I just want you want me to brief about welding hazards?
I think he's asking for welding hazards to be just repeated for him.
Okay.
I couldn't
Actually,
hear
there
any
are various
specific
type
question.
of there are various type of welding hazards which are associated. Now, the most common is the electrical one. Why the electrical one? Because we get electric shock if the proper care has not been taken. So it is always a pain area of the safety officer. So whenever a person who is doing a welding, please ensure that he is using a proper welding electrode holder, earth clamps, and other accessories which is used for welding. Now, other hazard which is important, or you can say care should be taken, is of Nikhil. Can you go to next slide? Now there, okay, let me tell you like that only. There are other hazards which are there, like heat and spatter. In case the spatters which are coming out of the welding processes, if gets inside or it gets pierced through the cloth, then it can cause burn injuries to the worker. So that is also one of the hazards. The fumes which are coming out while doing welding could be dangerous. So proper care needs to be taken. So these are the various type of welding hazards which comes during the welding processes. Now, whenever, if you're going for welding, please ensure that the worker is fully equipped with the personal protection equipments, like he is wearing arm guards, sleeves, gloves, then helmets. The place where he is working, it should be properly, ventilated, and there should be fume extraction to extract the fumes which are coming out during the welding process. So all these precautions needs to be taken care. Any other questions?
Sir, I have a please say about radiation hazard about during a welding. Can you explain me what is the radiation level affected to welder? And
Hello,
Nathan sir.
hello.
Yes,
Hello,
Nikhilji, you are
Nathan sir.
audible.
Am I
Hello,
audible?
Sampath Chaudhary.
Yes, Nikhilji, you are audible, but that question I could not understand because I think there are some network issues. I
Yeah,
could not
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, in between we have one question. Does carbon footprint reduces by using gas cutting in place of acetylene?
Hello.
Probably we'll get back to you on this. I mean, we are not aware whether carbon footprint reduces or not. We'll get back to you on this.
Technically speaking, it should, but we are not very sure. Let us check it and come back.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
in what context it is? I mean, how carbon footprint means you want to reduce. I mean, Mr.
Mr. Sarang is
Clarify
asked
more
this
on this.
question.
Sir, this is Saranga.
Yeah.
Actually, what is my question that I have written some article that they are changing the gas like acetylene to Bharat gas cutting, or some manufacturer has changed their own gas. So they are claiming that they are reducing the carbon footprint by burning of this gas. So it is not related to the safety, it is related to the environment. So
Yeah.
if you are aware something, you can light on this.
See, acetylene is an alkyne series of hydrocarbon. So
Okay.
for every carbon atom, there is only one hydrogen atom. In case of acetylene, it is C2H2. Whereas in case of BMCG, it is more like LPG, it's alkane. So you have more hydrogen atoms and lesser carbon atoms. So when you burn LPG, it burns completely. Whereas in case of acetylene, unburnt carbon particles are more. So that is the reason why maybe they say it is much more eco-friendly to burn LPG than acetylene.
Okay, okay, got it, sir.
Somebody has raised their hand.
I'm Shailendra. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, please ask.
Sir, I have one question. Can you explain the welding duration? During welding, you can say radiation hazard. How how to impact workmen which is engaged in the welding work, radiation
Yeah.
energy.
See, if you look at welding, now there is a welding arc. Okay, each process, maybe whether it is an arc welding process or a gas welding process or a TIG welding process or a MIG welding process, any of the weldings will have a welding arc. Or the welding arc emits harmful rays like infrared rays, ultraviolet rays, and various other kind of rays which are harmful to your naked eye. So to prevent this radiation from affecting your eyesight, you are supposed to have the right kind of eye protection gear while doing welding. So that is why you use a welding shield glass. Whether it is arc welding, you use a separate shield glass. Whether it is gas welding, you use a goggle. If it is TIG or MIG, you use a different shield. And if it is aluminum welding, you use an entirely different class of shielding glass. So that is what we mean by welding radiation or welding arc radiation we talk of.
Thank you.
And to add this, sir, there are various shades of glasses which are available, which you have to use depending upon the type of welding you're doing.
Yes. Same glass cannot be used for all the welding processes.
Sir, can you suggest any number of glasses which is the comfortable for the welding work?
Which welding process are you using?
Arc welding, sir.
Arc welding shade 9. Arc welding shade 9 is sufficient actually. If you are doing aluminum, then you have to go for shade 14.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Are you shade 9 for arc welding?
Beg your pardon?
Pardon?
Sir, you told shade number 9 na, for arc welding?
Yeah.
9 and 10 you can use, sir. 9.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have a question, please?
Yes, sir. Sampath Chaudhary, yes.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
My
Yes,
question
sir.
is about gas cutting and flash. Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. My question is about gas cutting process and flashback arrestor. So,
Okay.
how many time we can use cutting torch and flashback arrestor continuously? It's about question is sir, durability of flashback arrestor, sir.
Durability means you're talking of in terms of
Uh,
years or continuous usage?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm talking, are you talking how long you can use a flashback arrestor continuously or how many years you can use a flashback arrestor without changing?
Yes. And how many years we can need to change the flashback arrestor, sir?
The flashback arrestor needs to be tested and certified every year. Once you start using it after the first year, you need to send it to the manufacturer for testing and certification. Because a lot of impurities will clog the filters, inlet filter of the flashback arrestors. So we can clear the filters and we can check the flame arrestor and certify it for further usage. Now, in case there is a big flashback or a hose burn back, then the thermal cutoff valve would have activated. In that case, the device has to be replaced. It cannot be reused.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So there are many places where people use it for years together. And there are some places where within a month or so, if there is a big flashback, you have to change the device.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thanks.
Okay, got it, sir.
Any other questions?
Sir, is there any legal requirement for replacing your flashback arrestor?
Not that we know of.
Okay. Okay, so as per the uses, we have to just check for his, yeah.
Yes. See, it is recommended by the OEM that whenever you are using a flashback arrestor, once in 6 months, at least you should check the device for functionality and get it cleared and tested so that your flame arrestor working can be certified. Okay. So here in India, we recommend at least once in a year, you please send it for testing and checkup. So if you do that, we can certify the device and give you a functionality certificate with the serial number of the flashback arrestor. That is recommended. It is not mandated by law.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Surendra Singh ji, we can do this checking at site if you have more than 100 sets of flashback arresters.
Yeah,
These are chargeable basis. So if you have more than 100 sets, we can do the testing at site. Otherwise, you will have to send it to our place.
Okay, Roger, copy it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Shukla.
Yes, sir.
This type of flame arrestor that are depend on material is or not?
I didn't get your question clearly. Please repeat.
I am telling is it depend on the workpiece flame arrestor?
Yeah. See, your functionality of the device or the usage of the device is totally dependent on the site. Sometimes you may not encounter any flash at all. Okay, but the gas may have a lot of impurities which might go and choke the flame arrestor and the NRV. So in that case also you might be required to change the device over a small period of time without any flashback also.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir. Anybody else? Any other questions you have got?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. Can you audible? My voice?
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
My question was regarding related to flashback arrestor. How I can know the flashback arrestor physically it is good condition or not? Physical.
Right. So flashback arrestor device actually is a device which has to adhere to EN 730 and EN ISO 5175-1. These are the international standards for flashback arrestors functioning. Okay. And we have two types of devices which we use commonly. One is the torch and flashback arrestor, and the other is the regulator and flashback arrestor. Physically, you cannot check for functionality at site. So you have to go by the manufacturer's reputation for the standards, and you can also look for third-party approvals like BAM approval or underwriter's laboratory approval, which will certify that the device is good for usage. So once you start using this device over a period of time, if there is a big flashback and the device stops functioning, that is, it doesn't give you passage of gas afterwards, it means that the device has sacrificed itself and it has stopped functioning further. Okay. Or it can also be that the device has got blocked or choked completely and it is not giving you gas any further. So for in such cases, you are supposed to send the device back to the OEM who can test and certify whether you can use the device again or you have to replace the device. Physically, by appearance, by looking, you will not be able to discern whether the device is working or not. You will have to see whether gas is passing or not, and then only you will have to use it.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Myself Pushpan from Ultrotech Cement Plant, sir.
Sir,
hello. Sir, I have a question that basically welding machine takes AC current while using or turning on, but after that in delivery it takes DC current, sir. So how it converts AC to DC and why DC current is important to run welding machine, sir?
This is totally not relevant to our seminar subject today. However, just for your information, inverter-based welding machines have a what do you call that inverter inside. Means there is a device inside which will convert AC to DC.
Rectifier.
Yes.
Okay, there's a rectifier inside which converts AC to DC, and then the DC is again converted to AC and like that. So at high frequency AC, when it converted to DC, you get almost a straight line DC, which is required for having good quality of welding. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
DC actually current is better for welding applications because of the straightness of the what do you call that? The cycle we have now. Sinusoidal
There
cycle
are less
of AC.
fluctuations.
Lesser fluctuations. Voltage fluctuations will not be there.
Okay, sir.
There will be more arc stability in DC.
Great.
Thank you so
बहुत
much.
साल हो गया. Thank you. बहुत साल हो गया आपने भी इस पे जवाब नहीं दिया. चलो, Nikhil, are there any other questions?
Sir, thank you very much. This is Sarang here from HSR High Speed Rail Project. This was a
Sarang ji,
wonderful
boliye.
session. Wonderful session with a lot of insights we have got regarding gas cutting and welding. Thank you very much from my side, and thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you,
Rohit
Sarang ji.
sir.
Thank you for the nice
Saranji.
words.
Thank you, Saranji.
Welcome, sir.
Sir, there are no questions. We already concluded all the questions.
Fine. So thank you everyone for your time, and in case you have any further questions, feel free to write to us. We will get back to you shortly. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.